20 years, 9 Super Bowl appearances, 6 rings. Tom Brady posted his goodbye.
This is it for him, man. Thanks for a hell of a run.
Tom Brady is going to wind up as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Wrap your mind around that one.
When you get yourself in a situation like this, this is a great opportunity for us to get to. We're going to be in it at the end. There's no team that's going to run away from us.
It is official. As of this morning, Tom Brady, in just the last few minutes, has posted on his social media that he is officially signed his deal and is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, which means as I welcome linebacker Lavonte David in, I can say, Lavonte, you officially have a new teammate, and he's reasonably well known. Thank you very much for taking a couple of minutes with us here. So take us back to that moment when you first heard that Tom Brady was going to be joining your team. What was your first reaction?
Honestly, I didn't want to believe it until I actually seen it. I had a lot of people hit me up, a lot of teammates hit me up saying, I think we about to get Tom Brady. I'm like, I'm going to wait on it. I'm going to wait till the official news. Then that's the times kept getting closer and closer, and I kept hearing it. And then when it actually broke, man, I was excited. I'm glad to have a guy like an icon like Tom Brady to join us down in Tampa Bay, man. And it's going to be exciting times, man. It's going to be a great year for sure.
What specifically does someone like him bring? We understand, obviously, all that he's accomplished. What specifically does bringing someone like him into your organization, do you believe, what specifically does that do? Obviously,
winning. He knows how to win. And, the past whatever years, Tampa we haven't been that type of team to be winning, for whatever it may be. But we have a guy who can get us over that hump, every other year. We be right there, but we never find a way to get it done. So this guy right here who knows how to get it done, he can help us get over that edge with all the talent that he has around him, and the guys that we got that we bringing back, the young nucleus that we have coming back. So I can tell you for sure everybody's excited to get it going. You get to play with him now, and we have been doing some reporting that suggests there are a lot of players around the league who are interested in coming to Tampa to play there now with Tom Brady at quarterback. What do you know about that? What kinds of conversations have you had with other players? I haven't had any really conversations with anybody much, but I could tell you, if we do bring anybody else in, they come into a great locker room. We have a great group of guys that that buy into whatever the coaches is preaching and telling us, and from the staff down to the players, man, everybody's upbeat, everybody's happy, everybody's expectations high, and we know the type of team we can have, and if you're willing to join, man, we can welcome you with open arms if everything work out for sure. Let me pick up on that. You say expectations are high. What are your expectations for the Bucs this year? Yeah, me personally, coming from last year, how we ended the season, our expectations were high already, coming in, no matter who we had at, with the quarterback situation, no matter who we had at quarterback, I know our expectations were high. We was, going to fight to get into the playoffs this year. And even now, we bring Tom Brady in, those expectations even got even more higher, so everybody's going to be gunning for us, and everybody's going to try to prove a point. But we're going to have a point to prove ourselves. So me personally, I'm going to take some on myself to, get everybody ready to get us going to, basically shut a lot of people up because we still have a lot of doubters out there. And then finally, I would mention that also this morning, Todd Gurley has agreed to terms on a deal with the Atlanta Falcons. So you have the Saints, who've been very good for a while. Yeah. Your team adds Tom Brady. Gurley goes to Atlanta. Who's the team to beat right now in the NFC South? This division just keep getting better and better, man. It's already been tough before, but add Todd Gurley to the Falcons, is making it even more challenging. And already got the Saints, you already got the Panthers, who are a great football team. So, obviously, I'm gonna be biased and say, we could definitely run the table, but obviously, the Saints been winning the division the past whatever year, so they the team to beat right now. So we just got to get to work and hopefully be at the top at the end of the season. Fair enough. Well, listen, Lavonte, it feels like congratulations are the appropriate sentiment. Thank you very much for doing this. You stay safe, all right? And we will see you soon back on a football field as soon as we possibly can. Thank you very much for doing this morning. And I'll mention that we will continue to cover football for you all day long here on ESPN. Coming up after we wrap up, Get Up, we'll have First Take, then SportsCenter comes on, then NFL Live with all the latest from what continues to be a very busy week. The Jump is back with up-to-the-minute NBA news. SportsCenter comes back at 6 Eastern, then a primetime NFL free agency special at 9, and cap it all off with SportsCenter
with Scott Van Pelt at 11 Eastern. So again, we will be here for you with all the sports news all day long on ESPN. Then there's this. Darius Slay on his way out of Detroit. You know they've agreed to trade him to the Eagles for a couple of draft picks. Slay spoke with the Mitch Albom Show on WJR 760 in Detroit about his experience playing for Matt Patricia. Here's what he said.
He told me I wasn't elite. He told me I had no business working out with Richard Sherman and Talib because I wasn't elite. And those are guys that are elite category, and I was just good. So I ain't had that much respect for Matty P that much as a person because it was hard for me to play for him.
So that was an interesting thing to hear. I've got Orlovsky and Swagoo back with me, and I was just looking up a quick number here, and that is that Matt Patricia in his 2 seasons is 9-22-1. The Lions fired Jim Caldwell after consecutive 9 and 7 years. So with that as the backdrop, Dan Orlovsky, what's your reaction to what we heard there from Darius Slay?
Yeah, the Lions organization has a problem, Greeny, and you know that takes a lot for me to say. I was with Jim Caldwell and some really good, solid football teams in Detroit. I think the reality is this. The Ford family has now chosen a coach in Matt Patricia that, like you mentioned, has 9 wins in 2 seasons. He came in as a defensive mind, and they're in the bottom third in basically every category last season when it comes to defensive football. And Darius Slay is a guy that, one, again, I was with. He's beloved in the locker room by his teammates. Number 2, he leads the NFL. He leads the NFL in pass breakups since 2013. Number 3, when you're a coach, you're supposed to figure out a way to build up your players. Every coach that I've ever been around that was worth something would always go, you know what? You will become who you spend your time with. So yes, go work out with Aqib Talib and Richard Sherman. Figure out what has allowed them to play at such a high level and see if you can even become better. You don't talk like that to your players, let alone one of the players who's one of the best players on your team. The Lions organization has an issue with their head coach, and that pains me to say because I root for them heavily.
Swagger, what do you think?
Well, they're gonna have an issue for a while because they just extended him. This drives me absolutely nuts, man. Because the coach's job is to put a player in a position to be successful, and to Dan's point, also build those players up within your organization to get them to put out their best performances. Oh, and by the way, Darius Slay is elite. That is what his contract just determined. That's what his production just determined. So when you start having these conversations, when players come out and say these type of things about coaches, you know what that does around the league? I don't want to play for that guy. So more so than anything, Matt Patricia now has a stain on him from one of the best cornerbacks in the league.
Yeah, it's disturbing. A lot of the Bill Belichick assistants tend to bring Bill Belichick's coaching style everywhere they go without his resume, and it doesn't usually work. Guys, stay with me. We're going to stay busy here all morning long. And today I will mention also that in the noon Eastern Sports Center, they're going to break down college basketball's greatest player of all time bracket. The West and East regions are up over the next 12 days. You, the fans, will be deciding which player moves on in each matchup by going to SportsCenter on Instagram and Twitter to vote. The winners will be revealed during SportsCenter starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. All right, as we continue, Todd Brady has a new home. Todd Gurley has a new home. What lessons do we learn about what we've seen in just the last few days? We've got those answers and more next. Get Up on ESPN.